Ajmer Sharif Dargah, the most revered Sufi shrine in India, where millions visit with faith and fervour. The Dargah is the shrine of Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti, one of the most renowned Sufi scholars and philosophers who came to India from Iran in the 12th century and established the Chishti order of Sufism in South Asia. Besides the main maqbara, the entire complex consists of several tombs, buildings and courtyards, many built during the Mughal period. It's situated in the oldest part of the walled city of Ajmer. The Ajmer Sharif Dargah of Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti is one of the oldest and largest in Asia. It's also one of the most revered. It attracts millions of devotees every year. Many come from different faiths. It's believed that if you make a wish here, it is granted. Now, the government's wish is to make this entire complex, as well as the area around it, an example of swachhta, or cleanliness. Ajmer Sharif is also one of the 10 iconic locations selected by the Swachh Bharat Mission, where the cleanliness standards must be made exemplary, and the task at hand is a tall one. While prayers in the Dargah are offered by the Khadims, maintaining cleanliness in the complex is the responsibility of the Dargah Committee, which is constituted by the Union Ministry for Minority Affairs. The committee is headed by the Nazim. The complex, though, is not dirty, but there's definitely room for improvement. A sizable staff is engaged in cleaning, but given the high levels of footfall as well as offerings carried by the pilgrims, over the years the flooring and walls have become grimy. A regular mechanized cleaning system would work much better to ensure the interiors are spick and span. There are also encroachments within the complex, such as shops selling flowers and even a kitchen at the back, which is a hazard. But to remove them, political will is required. Often, any proposed change at the Dargah becomes controversial, and if there is any opposition, then the idea is invariably shelved. The complex also consumes a high amount of electricity, but the wiring hasn't been changed since 1975. Thick black wires can be seen hanging in several parts and are an eyesore. Several steps have been planned to bring about immediate change. The committee is now planning to install a water filtration plant and a rainwater harvesting system so that drinking water can be provided for the pilgrims.
देखिए, दरगाह शरीफ एक पाकीज़ा मुकाम है, अक़ीदत का मुकाम है। यहाँ हज़ारों लाखों की तादाद में ज़ायरीन यहाँ आते हैं। मैं सबसे पहले बताना चाहूँगा कि दरगाह शरीफ में जब बंदा दाखिल होता है तो दाखिल होने के साथ ही अपने पाँव से पैरहान को हटा देता है और उसके बाद वो वज़ू करता है। तो एक तरह से देखा जाए तो उसकी जिस्म की सफाई तो पूरी तरह ही हो जाती है।
But the cleaning of the shrine complex doesn't even begin to compare with the challenges that will be faced when attempting to clean the surrounding areas, which is the old walled city. The main road approaching the Dargah is an extremely congested bazaar, with hawkers, pilgrims, rickshaws, sometimes even cars making their way. The street is lined with shops, souvenir stands and hotels, while the lanes adjoining the main street are even worse. They're narrower with many eateries, hotels and residential buildings. There are some immediate steps that need to be taken if the famous Dargah is to become Swachh as envisioned by the government. Garbage removal and cleaning. A system needs to be created for regular collection of garbage, used flower offerings, and there needs to be mechanized cleaning both within the Dargah complex as well as the roads leading to it. Improving the access to the Dargah. There is an urgent need to decongest the area around the Dargah by removing encroachments, limiting vehicles, creating parking spaces, and possibly widening the roads. Better infrastructure. The drainage service in the area needs to be improved as well as the sewerage system. There is also a need for more public toilets in the areas adjoining the Dargah. Facelift for the surrounding area. The entire approach to the Dargah needs an overhaul, as currently many buildings are extremely shabby, some even crumbling. The facades can be improved and standardized, and distinct signages can be used for the approach street. There are plans to improve the experience for visitors arriving here.
यहाँ पर जो ज़ायरीन मैक्सिमम आता है वो अपने ज़ाती गाड़ियों से आता है, अपने खुद के व्हीकल से यहाँ पहुँचता है। तो हम आना सागर के वहाँ पे एक हमारा चिल्ला कुतुब साहब है, उसके ऊपर फ्री पड़ी ज़मीन के ऊपर G+8 कॉन्सेप्ट को हम अप्रूव करा कर वहाँ पे ज़ायरीन के लिए पार्किंग, ग्रीन रूम, चेंज रूम, टॉयलेट्स, क्लॉक रूम, ATM फैसिलिटीज़ एंड जनरल फैसिलिटीज़ के स्टोर वगैरह बना के हम एक बड़ा तोहफा भी ज़ायरीन को इंशाल्लाह आने वाले वक्त में देंगे। ई रिक्शा का कंसेप्ट अभी यहाँ पर आ रहा है, तो ज़ायरीन के लिए वो चेन रिक्शा चलेंगे जस्ट लाइक एक नॉमिनल चार्जेस के ऊपर दरगाह छोड़ेंगे। उससे हमें लगता है कि न सिर्फ ज़ायरीन को राहत मिलेगी, साथ ही एक इकोनॉमी प्राइस के अंदर उसको ज़ियारत की सहूलत भी मिल पाएगी।
Several steps have been taken to make Ajmer into a Swachh city as well. Right behind me here, this road has been widened. These shops are all encroaching on public property. They have all been pushed back several feet. And as you can see, the divider is also being made here to make it look more beautiful. Now, several public toilets have been put in from place to place. There are also dustbins that have been placed in various localities in the city, and water ATMs as well that have been set up for the citizens as well as for the lakhs of visitors Ajmer receives every year. Much of the cleanliness and beautification activities have been carried out by the city's young district magistrate Gaurav Goyal.
More than 7 million tourists come to Ajmer and Pushkar every year, including more than 1,000 foreign tourists. So to make their experience, to make the living experience of local citizens good, and to improve the overall sanitation, cleanliness thing, we have taken up the cleanliness drive. On one front, we have begun door-to-door home garbage collection. So 60 auto tippers have been deployed and 60 hand rickshaws in 60 wards of Ajmer city. Along with that, we have introduced semi-underground dustbins in Ajmer and Pushkar. 10 of them already installed with public participation. Another 10 are in the process of installation.
Ajmer is surrounded on all sides by hills, and at its center is the beautiful Anna Sagar Lake. An artificial lake built in the 12th century by Prithvi Raj Chauhan's grandfather. A few years ago, this lake was extremely polluted and would smell due to the effluents and waste released in the waters. But now a sewage treatment plant has been built to limit the raw waste, and regular desilting of the lake is also done.
The Anna Sagar Lake, which is heart of the city, has recently been cleaned thoroughly and has become a major tourist attraction now. We are promoting cycling. We are creating a walkway track around the lakefront area, around the periphery of Anna Sagar, and in fact we are developing it as a promenade.
So while positive change is taking place in Ajmer, bringing about meaningful change around the Dargah area will be the big challenge going ahead for authorities. But no step is too much for a place of pilgrimage that is often in the spotlight given its many famous visitors. Amritsar city, known as Guru Ki Nagri, is home to one of the most sacred Sikh shrines, the Harmandir Sahib, or as it's more popularly known, the Golden Temple.
Sri Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
The city was founded in 1577 by Guru Ramdas Ji, who also began work on the Gurudwara that was finally completed by his son. Today, the heart of Amritsar is an example of urban squalor that affects most Indian towns. It's a picture of civic neglect with narrow lanes, decaying houses, filth and mess. But could this all soon change? The Prime Minister's flagship Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or Clean India Mission has identified 10 iconic sites across the country that are spiritually and historically significant, which will be brought to international levels of cleanliness. The Golden Temple, which is said to attract the highest number of visiting non-resident Indians and is the spiritual center of the Sikh religion, is one of the sites chosen. The Golden Temple is one of the 10 iconic places chosen by the government to make into examples of the Swachh Bharat campaign. But as you can see, the Golden Temple and the complex is extremely clean. But it's the area surrounding the Golden Temple that are the problem. And indeed, Amritsar city itself needs to be made a lot cleaner. The temple premises are spotless, kept clean by an army of volunteers and workers, as Kar Seva, or contributing physical labor and service, is an important factor in Sikh tradition.
It is basically seva. When I call the word seva here, this is a voluntary, is done by the people, the ladies and the gents put together. And sometimes there is literally a fight between the people, they want to do it first. Our responsibility is to look after the surroundings of Darbar Sahib and the area within Darbar Sahib itself.
Gunbir Singh, who is part of an NGO, Eco Amritsar, tells us the main issues that plague the city is the filth, lack of planning and less green cover.
Therefore, waste management, waste collection is one of the major issues which are there in the city. Apart from that, the collection of water in various places, rainwater harvesting, stormwater drainage is another issue which is important. And the third, of course, being the need for greenification of the city. We from the Eco-6 side have proposed 100,000 trees to be planted within the walled city and another 500,000 to be planted across the rest of the city. So the idea is to have an air curtain, a green curtain if I may, to be put up so that it purifies the air around it and therefore the pollution in the city is also curbed. So these are the three main areas which I feel plague the city.
Change is finally coming to Amritsar's walled city. Everywhere you look, there's construction, scaffoldings and labour busy at work. Efforts are on a war footing to beautify the area around the Golden Temple. As you can see all around me here, a lot of work is being done, pavements are being laid, the buildings are being beautified. And this will eventually become a pedestrian-only zone. But it's not just here in the walled city where effort is being made. Several programs are planned for Amritsar city as well.